Joining us for more on limiting the spread of the pandemic is Dr. Blossom Maduafowa. She joins us via Skype from Lagos. Thank you for joining us at this time. I must quickly ask you...
Thank you for having me.
All right, good to have you. Looking at the lockdown and the gradual easing of the lockdown in Lagos, the FCT and Ogun State, we have several other areas that, state governors are taking different measures. But are you happy in assessing how we've fared so far? Would you say that it helped? And do you think this is the right time to ease when we start easing on Monday?
Okay, so that's a very good question, because what we had done initially was to sort of adopt, cut and paste what we had seen the West do, and then we implemented it in our situation. But we do know that our situation is completely different. So we have the issue of, we know that 80% of this country lives below $1 a day. And if we cannot provide palliatives for these individuals, then we have to have common sense sort of solutions to sort of have social distancing, but also to take into account the fact that people are going hungry. And so this is why there's sort of an easing of the lockdown. So but what people need to understand is on Monday, May the 4th, people are not just going to run out in the streets and do what they did before. It's not going to be business as usual. So that there's an easing of the lockdown. So people need to understand that the same practices will still come into effect. Basically, if you don't need to go anywhere, you still stay at home. Practice personal hygiene, hand washing, up to 20 seconds, use your hand sanitizers, have mandatory wearing of masks. So we're easing the lockdown, but we also understand that we need to keep this outbreak in check.
All right, Blossom, we'll come back to you because I slightly disagree because of what we're seeing. Seeing that, this week lockdown is in place, but it seems everybody is out on the streets, and that's Lagos where I am. But we'll come back to you. We'll quickly take this short break. Still to come as well, we'll be assessing the second half, talking about the various human rights violations in the second phase of the lockdown and other states across the country. That's in a moment. Welcome back to the program. We've been talking with Dr. Blossom Maduafowa, a public health physician, via Skype in Lagos. Blossom, I must quickly ask you, talking about perhaps the discipline that we have to also know that this is not a free-for-all, that we're still in a pandemic.
Absolutely.
And we need to take the necessary precautions. The World Health Organization said, slowly ease restrictions, don't ease restrictions right away. Do you think you can guarantee that we won't have more cases, a spike? We definitely don't want what happened during the Spanish flu era in 1918, in which was the second cases became even higher than the first outbreak.
Absolutely, absolutely. So no, we cannot guarantee that. So if you're asking, can we guarantee that? We definitely cannot guarantee that there won't be an upward spike of the cases. But what we can do and what we are doing is making sure that we're putting the message out there that this is not a free-for-all. You need to remember the protocols that we put in place during the lockdown have to be continued. So this is something using platforms like yours, this is something we're getting out across to the public. So everybody needs to know that this is an easing, this is not like a breaking open. So everything that we did during the lockdown, we need to bear in mind that we need to keep doing. It's just that we're opening up the economy so that people that need food, people that need resources can get those resources while we're trying to keep this pandemic at bay.
We can also protect them. We'd like to thank you, Dr. Blossom.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.